Hey, Nyaruko-san. Let me start off by saying this show is weird. Not the normal kind of Japanese weird that you would see in shows like Comfort or Ishiban Ushio no Daimao, where the content is strange throughout the show, but the overall concept is probably something you've seen before. Gender bender and demon lords, respectively. And you would have seen those things in other shows, and they follow a lot of the same tropes and general story structure. Haiyore don't do that shit. Haiyore, Nyaruko-san, don't do that shit. There is no other way to describe the show without first talking about its overall concept. Meet Mahiro Yasuka, an average high school student living in some random-ass city in Japan. He lives a relatively quiet life until one day some eldritch abomination comes and tries to take him as what could only be assumed a sex slave. Keep in mind, this is within less than 5 minutes of the show's beginning on its pilot episode. He is then saved from a brutal ass raping at the hands of aliens or something by the show's main heroine, Nyarlathotep. Let me sink that in for a little bit. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, then you have probably read the works of H.P. Lovecraft. That's right, this anime basically details the misadventures of a normal boy and a malign deity. Heard of Stranger Things in anime before? Well, let's just continue on with the plot, or what little of it there is. The reason that Nyarlathotep is here is because she is part of a space defense organization who was sent to defend Mahiro from alien abductors who were taking humans for the space slave trade. However, the main reason she took the assignment was that when she saw the person she was supposed to protect, Mahiro, and no, it is never adequately explained why she was sent to protect him by some space-sold god defense agency, she instantly fell in love with him. No, this is not one of those stories where they both hook up pretty much instantly, like in Rosario Vampire. Rather, it's a tale of a malign deity from space trying in vain to get with a normal boy because she's in love with him, but Mahiro don't want any of that old god pussy. Now, there's also this running gag about Mahiro using forks to stab and drive off Nyaruko, who is Nyarlathotep, when she decides she wants to get frisky with our main protagonist, Mahiro. There's also a note that Earth has the greatest of all gaming devices and entertainment and culture in general, which leads into a lot of side plots with the show. Let me get clear with my biggest criticism of the show, and honestly one of my only ones. It is all side plot. It goes from destroying an organization in the sunken city of Ryla to Mahiro being sucked into a cursed standing sim and having to achieve a good ending with one of the ladies in the show. Or boy? I suppose now would be as good of a time as any to explain our characters. Mahiro is a rather calm young lad with not much going on with him. Then there's the malign deities. Nyaruko is an otaku for anime and visual novels and things of that nature. Then there's the character that's introduced in the city of Ryla, Kathuka. She is, as any of you who have studied Lovecraft would know, the malign deity of fire. She's also completely head over heels in love with Nyaruko. And it leads to a lot of slapstick as Nyaruko tries to fend off Kuko, who is Kathuka, and Mahiro tries to fend off Nyaruko. However, the third major character is where I can see people getting a little uncomfortable because it is a grade A example of Shotokan. Hasta is the malign deity of wind. And unlike all the others, who took the forms of young, attractive high school girls, Hasta took the form of an even younger boy. Don't get me wrong, he doesn't sound or look like a boy either, and if you weren't told, you'd assume he was a girl. Hell, I know I did. So to recap, when it comes to slapstick, and pretty much all the humor is based around Mahiro trying to fend off Nyaruko and Hasuta, while Nyaruko tries to fend off Nuko, and Nuko tries to set up Hasuta with Mahiro to get Nyaruko all to herself. Suffice to say, it becomes a clusterfuck really rather fast. If you haven't just been skimming through this to get where I get to give it a grade, you have noticed that I have only really been describing the show with only one big critique, that it only has subplot after subplot. Well, you could argue that it does have one overall arching plot of Nyaruko trying to get with her one true love, Mahiro, but that is pushed to the back a lot of the time. But actually, to give the show some credit, it has a few really good moments pushing that plot together and advancing the two characters. And those moments are actually really sweet and heartwarming. Quite frankly, the animation is as smooth as anime gets with the occasional frame movements, and despite the original setup for an action anime, the show really isn't an action show and certainly isn't for children. I would describe it as a comedy with some more dramatic elements and definitely plenty of ecchi. Now, I haven't watched the second season. Supposedly the second season is more ecchi, but the first one has light ecchi elements, and it's not really that bad when it comes to that. I also love the show's art style, and it's definitely an older art style, and the voice acting I think is top notch. It is honestly really cute sometimes. The Hasuta and Nyaruko and basically the whole cast. Aside from Mahiro's voice actor is good, but it's not like that sense of super kawaii. Oh god, I think saying that made me want to rip my tongue out of my mouth. And as for the music, is used to really good effects. And I've honestly already added the theme song to my playlist for anime music while I write reviews. Now, this show also shouldn't be treated like Sword Art Online or Death Note. It is not an edge of your seat kind of show. It's the show to sit back with some popcorn, maybe some friends, some beers, something. And honestly, if you have, and like I said, with some friends, if you have friends that like anime, nothing gets perverted enough to deter you from watching it with said friends. Again, the second season might be worse in that regard, so at least in the first season it's like that. It's the show to get a bucket of popcorn and just relax. A wind-down show would be a good way to describe it. My only other criticisms, I think, would be that the ending doesn't have much payoff. However, there are more seasons, so I won't judge the show completely yet. Haiyore Nyaruko-san gets a 7 out of 10 for me. Definitely good, but far from perfection. This is the Alpha Otaku, signing off.